Representative yields back. With that, the representative from Indiana, Mr. Baird, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I appreciate you being here, Mr. Secretary. And I guess my question focuses on the fact that your duties as the Deputy Secretary of Management and Resources, you oversee modernization and operational efficiency. In that vein, you know, I want to make sure that and we talk about soft diplomacy, and I'm interested in agriculture. So the commodities that end up going to some of these countries, I want to be sure that they actually reach those people that it was intended for. American farmers and ranchers, and we as a country as well, are a giving people, but we also want to make sure that it gets to those that we intended for it to go to. So in that vein, I guess since your confirmation back in May, could you highlight, I want to give you the opportunity to highlight some of the inefficient areas that you found and what processes you are using or decisions you're using to improve those efficiencies and make sure that we're being effective for the kinds of programs that we're operating here.
Sure. Thank you for that question, Congressman. So we've conducted an extensive review of the organization at the department, led by the undersecretaries at the department who, at this point, were all career Foreign Service officers or career civil servants who've been at the department for years and have tremendous experience and knowledge about how things work and how they don't work, and have experienced the department on a bipartisan basis through Republican administrations and Democrat administrations, and told us what they thought worked, where there were duplications, where there were offices that were not really performing well, how we could do a better job advancing America's foreign policy interests and the president's foreign policy priorities. We looked at all of the management functions in the department and consolidated those mostly into the Management Bureau, but many of the bureaus and offices had their own management functions that did human resources functions and accounting functions, and those were all consolidated into a single executive management offices within the bureaus to allow for economies of scale and to allow for efficiencies. So we've done a lot of work to create these efficiencies across the department, and looking at how we do foreign assistance. There was a huge foreign assistance review that was done at the department before I arrived that looked at how we were spending money, and that's been the result. What's resulted from that is the FY26 budget request, where we have the America First Opportunity Fund to create better accountability for how those monies are spent and to ensure that they are spent to advance the Secretary's priorities and to ensure the President's foreign policy is faithfully implemented.
So continuing in that vein, you know, I had a chance to go to Africa a couple of times. And one of the concerns that I saw there was the nefarious groups or gangs or thugs in some ways, because those commodities end up being fungible, just like money. If you've got it, you've got control. Can you give me some insight into, or us, some insight into how you think we're improving monitoring where those commodities are going?
So I think for life-saving humanitarian aid and foreign assistance, you know, those programs were exempted from the humanitarian or from the foreign assistance review. But this is the kind of thing that, as we take a closer look at how we do foreign assistance, is making sure that we have partners on the ground who are able to ensure that our foreign assistance is able to be delivered securely and that it is safeguarded from these kinds of malevolent actions, and that other aid that is delivered is tied directly to a foreign policy priority that the President has. But if you've got sort of particular scenarios or examples in individual countries that you want us to look at, I'm happy to look at that and make sure that to the extent those kinds of activities were happening or our aid was subject to inappropriate use, that we could take corrective action on that.
And I thank you for mentioning, again, you mentioned it earlier, but the fact that those humanitarian efforts are exempted from what we're talking about. So with that, I got about 17 seconds less, and that's enough to just say thank you for what you do.